All right. They're in order. Rules. Okay, there are none. You're funny. Have fun, be yourself. Introduce yourself. Oh man, I was just thinking about this yesterday. It's like if someone asks me what I do, I don't know how to answer this question. Um, my name's Christian and I was born in Milwaukee and I also live in Costa Rica, but um yeah. So what am I working on? Oh my God. Sometimes when I date or when I talk to like beautiful women, I'm like, I'm so awkward. And I talked to my mom about it. Like I was talking to my friend and we were like, do you ever say something after you talk to someone and walk back and go, why am I so weird? Because yeah, this is a whole moment like that. Um, yeah. So yeah, my name's Christian and I'm I guess finding out more about who I am in this process of I guess being an entrepreneur, being a community builder, and just having recently turned 30. I know a lot of people put a lot of weight behind this age, and I'm starting to feel that because what's also very important to me is building a family and what it takes to yeah, like be a man in the house, and sometimes be like a man in the house or of the house. And so that just has me thinking a lot differently about like who I am and how I'm showing up and what's important to me. And I I've worked in the corporate world and I've also worked recently with a lot of startups and small businesses and I've continued to really follow what I'm interested in, try to build my life around that. So it has to do a lot with just personal development through different modalities, different practices, yoga, psychedelics, community, music, and can I do the next card? Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, how authentically are you living right now? That's a really good question. Because there are parts of me that I would say a 10, and then there are parts of me that I would be like, I don't know what they are, but they're not a 10. And this is really, I don't know. Like there are so many parts of my life where one time I had this experience where I was really like almost confronted by God and was asked like, who are you? And who are you really? And who are you trying to be? And what are you doing with all these masks that you wear? And can you say that you're showing up as yourself at home, at work, and wherever you are? Or do you put on um different shapes to just fit your environment? And is that at a sacrifice or an exchange of who you really are and who you want to be and who you know yourself to be? So yeah, I think yeah, when I see this on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like instead of it being linear, it's more of a dynamic answer. Um, how authentically are you living? Honestly, I don't know what the answer is, but I would say I'm living more authentically more and more each day, especially just like at home, how I'm showing up with my family. And just bringing maturity and bringing versions of myself that I don't think they're used to, that they're really starting to accept, that I've or embrace that I've kept under wraps quite a bit. So I think that's supporting. And then there's times I think about when like I'm at yoga and I think about the life that I've lived and the experiences that I've had and the fact that there's so many people that know me that don't really know me. And so it makes me ask this question of, am I withholding myself? And if so, how come? Like why am I afraid to like talk about more about who I am and what I do and what's important to me? So I would give myself an 8. I'll give myself an 8. I'm also a very generous grader. So yeah, if when I teach kids, when I'm grading papers, I know I'm typically a little bit more generous to encourage that I guess that type of optimism. What's stopping you from showing up authentically online? Honestly, I wish I could remember who said this. Oh, I really do. But basically she said, I am more afraid of letting someone down than of dying. Because that's just to say I think way more about people pleasing and caretaking than my actual mortality. And that I would say that's the biggest thing. Is like what I'm a much different version of myself than the than some people who have grown up to know me. So I'm like, with me being interested in music and retreats and surfing, and like being vulnerable and being deep or like philosophical or spiritual. I don't even know what the last one means, but it like in that pursuit of what I'm really interested and passionate about now, and thinking about the people that used to know me that didn't know these versions of me, that's like, what are they gonna think of me? So that's definitely been something that's stopping me from showing up online. And yeah, there's other ways that I love to show up online, like Zoom communities, these kinds of things. So again, it goes back to that other answer. There's ways I feel like I'm really showing up authentically, and then I would say the last thing with this is that I'm in this period of discernment, which is which part of my stories are meant to be shared publicly and which are just meant to be are meant to unfold in real life, and just really balancing how much yeah, just balancing that, like what's meant to be shared when and with who, and especially as it relates to being online. When do you feel most yourself? Typically when I have a guitar in my hands, um, or when I find myself just in a circle of people who are curious and who are loving. Um, and when I feel most myself, it's when I am just stepped into like this seat of selflessness, of service, and just being, um, like for example, whenever I've gotten to work at these retreats that I get to do, that's when I feel most myself, because I am just there being curious with people, reflecting different things, sharing perspective. And I'm most myself when I'm with people, even though I'm really introverted. So I find this also very interesting. But when I just get to be of service, really, that's when I feel most myself. And when I get to play music, for sure. Um, mhm. If your wildest dreams had already come true, what would your future self tell you to stop holding back? Wow, that's deep. If your wildest dreams had already come true, what would your future self tell you to stop holding back? I think one of the things is waiting for permission, waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for someone else to take care of what I know is most important for me to take care of, or to practice. I would say my future self would tell me to stop caring so much about what people think, and to stop doing so much emotional cardio in the future in my mind. I think Seneca said we suffer more in our imagination than we do in reality, and I definitely feel that. I think the other thing that's coming up too is my future self would tell me that when I feel the nudge, or like the whisper to speak, to express, to just lean into that and not to meet it with so much logic. That's definitely just that trust of things that I can't understand or analyze or make sense of right now. My future self would definitely say just like lean into to your faith in what you can't know and what you can't see, but that you feel, and that feels very true. What am I learning to love about myself? Um, how goofy I am. Like in the desire to be so put together and have certain parts of my life figured out, it's almost a mirage that is at the expense of just being silly and goofy and playful. So, I've been spending a lot of time with my dog and my mom, and my mom's a full, yeah, she's very, very goofy. So I think that that brings out a lot of, yeah, like that, very playful, silly energy, and just, yeah, just that's what I'm learning. That's what I'm learning to love about myself.